Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the vlog for session 20 of Angel Art's Dragon Age Resurgence. Hi! Feels like it's been a very long time since I've been here at the opening for this. So how are we doing?
And we're almost at the end game.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, no pressure.
So the session was shorter than most, but there was still a good amount of stuff that happened. So who would like to ask a question, talk about, bring up? What would you like to say? Talk about.
I don't know. Well, that's it for the vlog, folks. Thanks and tune in for next time.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
I didn't know someone else. I wanted to bring up the stone.
Okay.
But I didn't know if anybody wanted to talk about anything else. So
No,
I was
no.
quiet.
Do it. By all means.
I mean, okay, so Ken has sort of been plotting destroying the stone behind Hallie's back, and she finally led in her plan to Andrea and Cedric, who she was thankful were all for it. I still have no idea if this stone can be destroyed in the way that they want it to be. I'm nervous. I feel like something bad's going to happen with the stone soon. I want it to be destroyed so bad.
Aww.
But I'm worried about the ramifications when Hallie finds out
Yeah.
did this behind her back. But at the same time, I mean, she did something behind our backs because she thought it felt right. So I don't know. It still hurts me as a player to do.
Don't ever say that to her, because those are two very different things.
No, they're not. Not in Cedric's mind. Not in Cedric's mind. He'll tell you straight to your face.
Oh, I can't wait for that conversation, baby.
It feels like, I don't know.
Maybe once she's queen, you can have that conversation.
Whether or not she's queen, that's going to be a conversation if it comes to her face.
Oh, shoot. I grabbed the wrong medicine.
Be queen or whatever. When it comes to magic shit, Cedric doesn't mess around. He's like, I don't care who you are. I'll tell you. I told a king off. I was like, yeah, you just threw away countless amounts of money that he'll never see in his life. And he was like, yo, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yo.
And you think you think that Cedric will be afraid to tell a new queen? Like, get out of here.
Oh, no. Hallie would look at you askance if you ever bit your tongue around her, or bit her tongue, whatever. But no.
Wow, kinky. Kinky. I mean, wow.
It's canon.
After you grow and lose a set of genitalia, apparently there are no more limits.
Hashtag Cedrasair. Cedrasair.
It would never work out.
No, it's completely different.
I think they would be a rival bands. Their only real shared passion at this point is for good strong workouts and Hallie's sister.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, because I think there was some confusion about the soul stones in general in the comment section. Just to clarify, the soul stone themselves have nothing to do with resurrection. It is not the stones themselves that resurrect people. The soul stone is just a object. It's a vessel. It's an object that you can place souls into. And in this case, it can be used to store a soul for the purposes of using the resurrection ritual. So they are two completely different things. Not that it necessarily matters to you guys at the very end, but I just wanted to clarify that one doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the other.
I wasn't aware. I thought it was like they needed the soul stone to do it, but okay, I got that.
They just need a soul.
Yeah.
It just so happens. Souls are really hard to carry around. So, I don't know if you noticed. So that was something that was created for convenience sake.
Cool.
Any other thoughts on the session?
I really enjoyed sort of the puzzles that we've been doing with trying to communicate with Hugh through the paintings. I think it's fun that we have to figure out like a drawing, sort of this way to communicate. I like that part.
I like that too. It was awesome.
Hugh's form of magic, I have to admit, Hugh's form of magic is pretty fun. And I've had a good time sort of coming up with, well, his magic is through his art, so what does that mean? And how can we leverage that theme? And I really like how you guys have been interacting with him that way. Which might prove useful later on, knowing that you can communicate with someone through paintings.
Yeah.
So
Cool. It is very cool.
Definitely. And I mean, the fact that he's really starting to feel now. That part where you, what did he say when after we gave him a hug and he's like, it feels good. I don't know. He said something. I was gonna cry because he said it felt. I don't know that he was feeling something.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact wording.
But it also hurts at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's two things that are going on in there. There's the feeling of forbidden love is not in the classic way you call forbidden love, or like, oh, I shouldn't love this person because of X, Y, and Z. It's more like, if I allow myself to love, if I allow myself to care people, that means my magic comes back, and that could be a bad thing. And then the other thing is, as a tranquil, he's always tranquil. Like he never feels hurt in the sense that, he misses people, or in the sense that he can have a broken heart. So there's a double-edged sword for most everyone who's not tranquil. Emotions come in many different shades, and some of them feel great, some of them don't feel so great. And I think for someone who for 20-some years haven't felt emotions, having it suddenly come back can be very overwhelming, and that's why he feels the way that he feels.
Oh, Hugh.
I know, Hugh.
Which is why I was curious about people's responses on when I first created Hugh's character in the beginning. I wasn't sure where he would end up at the end, assuming that he survived. I wasn't sure if he would revert back to being tranquil again. I wasn't sure if he would go back to being a non-tranquil individual. I didn't know if you guys would or would not suggest having him go through the tranquility cure, or tell him to do the opposite and go through the rite of tranquility officially through the chantry, which means, or the circle, which means it would be more of a permanent fix. What are your thoughts on that? Because right now I don't think that it's been decided yet what direction Q is going.
It's a dilemma.
I mean, is he? I really want him to make that decision on his own, but I feel like he's waiting for us to make that decision for him. And I mean,
that's what I feel too. I want him to do that himself.
If he was going to, I'll say that if he was going to make a decision on his own, he would have killed himself a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
He already did. So, and that's because he was thinking as a tranquil. He was thinking without emotions. He was thinking logically.
Yes.
Now there's a conflict between logic and emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason why it's hard for him to come up with a decision is because he doesn't know what is the right thing to listen to. Should I listen to my logical side? Should I listen to my emotional side? I think that's the only reason. It's not just a cop-out. It's not just a cop-out of, I want the main characters to decide for him. But I think there's legitimacy in his... he doesn't know which direction he should go.
I think the logical way would be, well, why don't you want to be a tranquil anymore? And it's because he's afraid he can't leave the temptation. It's like, well, let's just say you stop being a tranquil and Cedric's in trouble. Are you going to start painting people? And you don't want to do that, maybe stay a tranquil.
Yeah.
Maybe stay a tranquil if that's your choice.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, you remember Hugh talking a lot about how beautiful things are, how he's recognizing the beauty. It's why he became an artist to begin with. He wanted to become an artist because he knows that the world can be a very ugly place. which is why he wanted to try to capture beauty. And I think one of the things he said is, that's why I became an artist, to capture beauty, and that way you can bring it with you and look at it when things are very dark. He could not appreciate beauty as a tranquil. He lost that. He lost what gave him the passion, what caused him to become an artist to begin with. He lost that part of his identity when he became tranquil. Now that he's starting to feel emotions again, he's starting to see beauty in the world again, which he didn't see before. And so the question is, while yes, it makes more logical sense for him to go back to tranquility, this is who he is, or at least it was who he is. This kind of defined why he took the path that he did. And it's not easy to give that up.
No.
You know? So it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't want him to become tranquil again.
You don't want him to become tranquil again?
I do not.
So would you like for him to be completely back to the way he was?
Yeah. I mean, I think he knows the dangers of what he is now, and he can better prepare, and he's not going to, like, just accidentally make a portrait of people and then, you know, siphon them. He knows, yeah.
He
knows not to.
He wasn't accidentally doing it in the end, though. He was intentionally painting bad people.
Oh,
or people he perceived were bad.
Yes.
That's true.
But in the end that scared him, because he was being judge, jury, executioner, and I think he did not trust himself to be judge, jury, executioner, even though you guys kind of do that a lot in this campaign. You kind of take things upon your own hand. So, but some people are bothered by that. And while it may be perfectly fine for certain of you guys to do that, for Hugh, he's not that kind of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't have to return to that. He could.
Yeah.
He could stay in the circle.
Right.
I mean, he's got Cedric now. So,
yeah.
I mean, that would influence him, I think.
I wonder, though, because, like, we know that Cedric's gaining charges a little more every day. And, you know, yeah, sure, he would be safe in the circle. But we saw firsthand how easy it is for one person to break in, get something, or say someone someday, and leave. We barely caught somebody who was in the White Spire. So unless Cedric is on like constant 24-hour guard, which is no life for Hugh, there's always going to be a risk that somebody can, you know, use magics.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like Hugh could defend himself. I mean, he's not.
Well, yeah,
helpless.
He's not helpless, but you know, catch the wrong person at the wrong time, and sometimes things aren't as easy as that.
That's true. Fair point.
My only response to that is ever vigilant. I'm just kidding.
My response to that is probably something that Hark will not want recorded. We'll talk later.
Ooh. But the censor nugs love it.
Censor nugs, yes. Just beep, 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 squeaky.
I like how it's like I say ever vigilant, and then like you can go back like last episode was like, all right, see you, Andrea, have fun doing whatever you're doing over there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Me and my favorite charge this week are going to be over here.
I think for Cedric in a perfect world, Hugh wouldn't be tranquil, and he would stay with him in a circle. However, that's a perfect world, and as we all know, that this world, Dragon Age, is especially not perfect. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I think Cedric's going to struggle with that a lot because, I mean, while Hugh is also having troubles with the emotional side and the logical side, so is Cedric. Like, Hugh saved his life, or Cedric believed he saved his life, and He's like a brother to him. He was like his first charge, really.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the logical side, there is always that risk that something could go wrong and Hugh can be taken, or Hugh can start, like, something can happen to Hugh and he starts painting people again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard for Cedric to make that choice because he's juggling the same things, maybe not on the same level as Hugh, but to the same degree. He's juggling with the same issue. And he hates tranquility too. So
Yep.
How much does Cedric trust you?
Cedric trusts Hugh with his life.
Mm-hmm. You just don't necessarily trust other people.
Yeah.
Influencing him in some way, or manipulating him, or forcing him in some way.
Yeah, because I mean, we've already seen that can happen. So
the ability that he has is very unique. So would this be something that you think would be appropriate for the circle to have knowledge of, that someone of his powers exists? And
I think so, but only to the right kind of people, because the order still hasn't changed. Like, there are still, like, Cedric wants to go in and start changing things to way he sees, but right now he's still at the bottom of the totem pole. He hasn't changed anything yet. But there are still other Templars like Cedric, like Sir Barris and stuff. Right. And I'm sure that there are others, but it is something that should be addressed to the circles, because, I mean, that's kind of why they're there. But only to the right people. And
so if go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna say only to the right people. And Sir Barris has been in the order longer, so he probably knows more people who are like-minded, so to speak. I don't know.
So to go back to what you were originally saying, if you were to ask Cedric's opinion, Cedric would lean more towards him curing himself of his tranquility, and by curing himself, I mean embracing his emotional side again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what he would want. If that's the best choice, I don't really know.
Okay. Anything else?
Has anything been done with Theo having the cure for tranquility? I can't remember.
Yes.
I don't think he did.
He hasn't yet.
Oh, okay, so we can't talk about we can't talk about that yet.
Well, I
You don't
spent
have-
like the whole session crying.
Oh, Bostwick.
Yeah.
I cried like the whole time.
Do you want to talk about Bostwick? Yes.
I don't really want to, but it was my big thing.
Oh.
That, and I'm gonna be Grand Duchess apparently. So
That's your new identity.
Well, no, doesn't that depend on things, darling?
I told you that you had to. I'm your sister. Make me Duchess.
Yes.
But then Bostwick died.
Grand
I hope
Duchess
he'll
of Chocolate and Tears.
Just really sad.
Hey,
Since
we
we're-
share some of that.
This is talking about Bostwick is a good segue from talking about Hugh, because I think, understandably, Andrea may have some reservations about what they did in order to save Hugh, because by saving Hugh, and indirectly saving everybody else that were in that portrait, it cost other people's innocent lives to be placed in dire danger. Not just Bostwick, but all of Bostwick's servants.
Yep.
And I don't know how much Andrea is necessarily upset at Hugh, because I think she at least knows it's not Hugh's fault per se, but indirectly it kind of is.
When we found him, and he mentioned committing suicide, I was like instantly pissed, like, for Andrea, because I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I didn't want to put that guilt on him, like, hey, by the way, all these people just died so that you can be alive. But that was where her head was. It was like, kill yourself. Like people sacrifice themselves so this could be a thing. You should be blessed right now. But she couldn't say that because she didn't want to put that guilt on him. So I don't know. She was mad at him just for that. Not just for that. She blames herself on Bostwick completely. Like that's all on her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the only thing that, like, when he said he was thinking about committing suicide still, she's just like, I can't answer this right now. I'm gonna lose my mind.
I think Cedric had a similar reaction, maybe not to the same degree, but like, because he didn't know about Bostwick at that time, but he was like, we all just kind of threw ourselves into the frying pan.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
that's kind of not an appropriate thing to say right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't like as mad as Andrea probably was, but it did kind of like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hallie would have actually defended his choice, even if, as shitty as it would have been. Hallie would have defended that choice if he decided, after all that, that he still couldn't handle it to the point that he felt it was best for him to not be around. These are all the choices we make, and while I, the player, personally hate this, it's...
I just want to point out that Hallie wasn't there. We all almost died.
Yeah, I know. That's... Maybe that would have changed if there was another person around. Maybe it wouldn't, because it's one person versus an entire, world of people against us. So yeah, no, I wasn't there. And still, she would have probably still made that argument, That's the same reason she made the argument for Malfarath.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
but
every soul deserves a chance.
To that end, Cedric would say, well, then he should have just written that on the painting. Like, hey, pick this one. Like, I don't want to live. Like, I can't handle this.
If he would have been able to do that, though.
So in like a couple days, he was like.
If you remember, I think if you remember from a previous blog when we were talking about Hugh many sessions ago, I think I mentioned something about Hugh essentially took the easy way out, because by turning tranquil, he basically skipped over the part about getting over his guilt. He never really gave himself a chance to deal with that guilt like normal people would. He just became tranquil, and then he became content with everything. So now he is 20-some years later, it's coming back, and he's pretty much back to having to deal with guilt that he never fully, worked through. So I think that's why. On top
of the memory of everything that he has now missed by being tranquil as much as he has.
So that is the reason. I'm not at all like defending him, but I'm saying that is the reason why he said what he said, because he never had the chance to actually work through that, which is now something that he would have to do if he doesn't make himself tranquil again.
Back on the terms with Bostwick, Cedric totally understood why he did what he did.
Yep.
And he actually gained a lot of admiration towards Bostwick. Because if you remember back when we first met him, he did not like Bostwick at all. Didn't trust him, didn't really like him. But after that moment, he was like, I would have done the same thing.
He's so noble. Bostwick!
And who knew that the Tevinter slave owner was the person that you guys would be sympathetic towards? Who would have thought that?
I cried so hard. I was sobbing last session. Just ugly crying. It's just...
his quote about how Andrea is not the slave. We are the slaves. The Tevinter mages are the slaves. Which is interesting. Interesting observation to make.
It definitely was.